Today, we are talking Disneyland, folks. That's right, you saw that thumbnail, but we're doing it a little bit different with quite a different look at Disney that I've never done before. But first, let's roll that intro. Tommy Loves Stuff, where he talks about the things that he loves. What's going on? It's your boy back at you again with another Tommy Loves Stuff video. First, a little backstory before we kick off today's Disneyland video. A couple weeks before our trip, our anniversary trip, my wife actually fell and broke her ankle pretty badly. She was on crutches and had a boot and everything. It was, I'm glad she's doing all right now at the time of this video. But going into Disneyland, we weren't sure we were going to go. It was back and forth. But she wanted to go, so we're going. And we started off at a place that we don't normally do at Disneyland, and this was City Hall. Now, we thought maybe we could get some kind of pass or something like that, and what they told us was no, that those are a little bit more difficult to get nowadays, but they did recommend that for certain rides you can go and ask for almost like a fast pass, where you can go and if you're on crutches or you have different things that might prevent you from being in the line comfortably, that you can go there and request it. So that was cool, and we will go a little bit later in the video and show you what was going on with that. But first, once we got that done with, it was a long line, we decided to get some snacks because we hadn't had breakfast. So we started off at Bengal Barbecue, one of my favorites. As you can see here, I got a nice platter with some skewers. I think it was pork belly with the rice. It was really good. Fantastic. Bengal Barbecue never misses, so that was incredible. Now we headed from there straight to Star Wars Land. Batuu! Headed straight to Batuu to ride the rides. Now we had gotten my wife a wheelchair, and by the way, before I go any further, everybody at Disneyland there was very accommodating for her injury. They said, "Oh my gosh, what happened?" They asked about it, and it was really nice. It was really easy to get the wheelchair, or some people were checking out motorized scooters, and the people at those booths were incredible. So shout to them. Star Wars Galaxy's Edge and ride Rise of the Resistance. Now, this is quickly becoming one of my favorite rides in the park, but it is incredible. It is totally immersive. That was great. Unfortunately, you didn't get to use the pass option that they gave because I guess wheelchairs could fit in the line. Some of them they can't. It was a little bit hot, and I regret not bringing hats for us, but we did get on eventually, and it was fantastic. It took a little while because we went standby, but well worth the wait. That ride is phenomenal. Like I said, we stopped off at Star Wars Launch Bay and decided my wife wanted an iced coffee, and they have an incredible iced coffee there that has Cocoa Pebbles on top. Fantastic. But I decided to try something else. I got the Venetian Mineral Mousse. Now, this was all kinds of weird colors. It was like blue and, a little bit of, it looked like dirt on it and stuff like that, but it was cocoa powder, and obviously. And, it was fantastic, though. It was good. It was a good little snack. It was refreshing. And then my wife got her iced coffee, which was still good. We've tried that there before. But, yeah, good little snack in between to kind of cool down because it was starting to heat up. We grabbed some popcorn as well on the way out for our line for Smugglers Run. Now, if you hadn't been on this before, it is great. You get to pilot the Millennium Falcon. You get to be a gunner. There's all kinds of different things you could do in there. You see different stuff. You get different endings, if you, do good on the mission and stuff like that. I can't recommend the rides in Batuu enough. They are fun. It is a fun place to be. I think we spent a majority of our first day there just hanging out, walking around, seeing the characters walk around and stuff like that. So cool. Fantastic. Just a great start to our morning. We decided to check out the Haunted Mansion after that. Now, this did have the option of if you were injured or something like that, or you had a different reason, you could come back later, and they gave you a little paper. That one of the things I thought was cool was that it wasn't just a plain generic paper or, little badge that you carried and you come back in an hour. This one was actually themed to the ride. So it was a certificate that looks super cool. You got to carry it around, and I normally wouldn't have saw something like that. So I've been going to Disneyland since I was a kid, off and on, whenever my parents were, fortunate enough to take me. And I've never seen this part of Disneyland. It's a small part, but it's cool to know that there's still little hidden secrets and stuff that I don't know about. Next up was Star Tours. Now, Star Tours has been my favorite ride. The OG version is my favorite ride at Disneyland of all time. But this one is super cool too. You get a whole lot of options, you know what I mean? I love Star Wars. Star Wars is my jam. This was weird too. Like you could see it was themed to be like a boarding pass, like you're going through the Star Tours terminal and stuff. And like I said before with the Haunted Mansion, super cool. They could have just put like come back at 4 on like a little piece of paper or whatever and signed it, but they didn't. Everything's themed. Disney does go that extra mile. And we got to go through the little back area. You know, there's an elevator for, if you have a wheelchair. Even though my wife was unfortunately injured, we are getting a different look at Disneyland that we normally wouldn't get. So I thought that was cool. She did too. But after that, we started to get a little bit tired. Like I said, it was a pretty warm day, and we didn't bring hats or nothing like that. Sun was kind of beating down on us. So we decided to go back to the hotel, grab some dinner, and just hang out there. And that's what we did. Day 2, California Adventure. And we decided to start out picking up something that I've been wanting for a while. Now, a couple years ago, we were at California Adventure, and I saw that they were selling an infinity gauntlet that was like a sipper cup. Like it was like this, and then you put the soda in there, the water, whatever you want, and you drink it. And I picked it up. I thought it was super awesome. And then a couple months ago, I saw that they had put out the Iron Gauntlet. Like the Iron Man one. The Iron Man, I'm dead. Anyway, spoiler. But they had the Iron Gauntlet. I thought they had sold out, and then I saw that they were making a return slowly. So I picked one up. So now I have each version. Super awesome. It was really my only souvenir that I picked up the whole trip. We flew actually, rather usually sometimes we drive, but we flew this time, so luggage space was an issue. But definitely happy I got that. While we were at the park, I noticed they had a lot of Turning Red merchandise. Now that was the movie that had come out most recently from when we went. Personally, I thought it was fantastic. Both my wife and I loved the movie. The songs were fun, and like during the 90s, my wife was kind of the same age as May during the boy band craze, so she could definitely relate, especially going to the concerts, like screaming and stuff like that. They wasn't really what I was listening to back then, but, still, it was a great movie. I really enjoyed it. To give it like a rating, I would go like 8 out of 10. I really enjoyed the movie. I've watched it a few times since. It's fantastic. One of the things I thought was cool was they had both May with her red hair and dark hair, and they had the friends, so like if you relate to one of the other girls or thought that girl was cool, you could have a souvenir of them. So a lot of times certain characters are cut out of movies because they think they won't be marketable, or we can't sell t-shirts or toys with them, so let's just throw Elsa and Olaf on everything, but I like that they were definitely represented here. A lot of different options. Turning Red, great movie, and the merchandise seemed really cool too. We went to Pixar Pier and hung out there while we were waiting for our lunch reservation. And while on the pier, I noticed there was a bunch of silhouettes on top of the pier, like kind of where the lights are and stuff like that. And you could spot the different characters. We were trying to figure out some of them. Most of them were easy to do, but it was real fun to kill time while you're waiting for them to call your name for the lunch. Lunchtime, and we decided to go all out. We booked reservations to the Lamplight Lounge. Now, I had been there when this was way back in the day, when Disney California Adventure first opened, and it was like a Wolfgang Puck restaurant. I remember going in like 2001 with my family, not being impressed. Did not go when it was King Triton's or restaurant or Ariel's Grotto. You had the King Triton there in the front or whatever. But we decided to check out the Lamplight Lounge, and I was hoping the food wouldn't be disappointing, and I was right. It was incredible, y'all. Now, if you ever get a chance to go, I definitely recommend it. Now, first off, let me just hit you with the view we got. We sat down and we had a perfect view of the whole Pixar Pier. You could see where World of Color was and stuff like that. You know what? I didn't even do it injustice. Just check it out. Have a few items, just order them and then share them and stuff like that. We started off with the lobster nachos. Now, if you haven't had the lobster nachos before, they are incredible. I've had them before. I've mentioned them before. They are fantastic. Definitely love the lobster nachos. They are a must get every time you go. We also tried a poke bowl and some pork belly bows, and those were fantastic. The pork belly bow was spicy, but not overpoweringly spicy. The poke was fantastic. It was marinated, incredible. I could have eaten like four more bowls of it, you know what I mean, by myself. But I was sharing, thankfully. And we had a good time. We ordered some drinks, some stuff. I looked up, there was a secret menu drinks, and we got other drinks. As you can see here, this drink is bubbling. So that was cool. It was fun to watch it go. The drinks were all tasty. They're fairly strong, which was awesome. And we had a great time, great lunch. It was a fantastic meal, fantastic company for sure. Checked out some more rides. We went to Toy Story Midway Mania. Always a fun thing. I ended up losing to my wife, and she's really good at that game. And we even unlocked a secret thing in the volcano, which I don't know what we did, but all these other things started coming out, and we're like, whoa. And before we had a chance to react, we moved on to the next level. She won. I can admit defeat. You're awesome, mi corazon. We went to Spider-Man Web Slingers. Now, I like this ride a lot. It's super cool. You do look like a VR thing. You shoot webs and, but it's a little bit short. Now, I've mentioned this in another video that granted, they're working with a limited space. This used to be the It's a Bug's Life theater. So you don't have a lot of room to work with, but I thought it could have been a little bit longer or let you stay there a little bit longer. But it was fun. Now, in the pre-show, I caught a few Easter eggs in the little claw machine that's off to the side. As you can see, they've got a Baymax there and everything. So definitely cool. Look for Easter eggs hidden throughout the whole ride, and that's always fun to do. It was a little more obvious right there because I was standing right by it. But yeah, definitely fun ride. Short, but I enjoyed it. Day 3 started at the Carnation Cafe. This was our actual anniversary day. My wife got a Mickey waffle, which was fluffy and delicious. I got to have a bite. And I got a breakfast sandwich, which was huge. It could have fed both of us and stuff, but I killed it. And we decided to check out some rides like Indiana Jones. Now, it's one of my wife's favorite rides, and I love it too. And we did use the special pass again, and this one was themed to be a Western Union telegram. Now, I love the Star Tours boarding pass. I thought the Haunted Mansion certificate was awesome, but this was probably my favorite looking one. It looked badass. And, it, like I said, definitely something we wouldn't have seen had she unfortunately not been injured. At the Holly Jolly Bakery, they were serving some seasonal items. They had a minecart brownie, and they had some birria grilled cheese. Decided to check those out, so let's take a look.
First off, before you even take a bite, look how freaking huge this sandwich is. Like, I thought it'd be like a little bit of meat and stuff, but it is packed literally to the gills. You have here the consomme. You dip it in. I'm gonna take a bite with and without it, and let's get it going. What's up? It's your boy back at Disneyland, and we're trying some seasonal foods here for the Main Street Electrical Parade's 50th anniversary. First up, we have the birria grilled cheese. Now, a little bit earlier, I showed you how big it was, not realizing there's 2 sandwiches stacked up on each other, so that was a little dumb part on my part. But you know what? We're gonna keep it rolling. First, we do a bite without the consomme, and then we do it with. Without. Even without the consomme, is incredibly flavorful. The cheese toast is popping, better than Sizzler cheese toast, and it is really good. Now let's dip it in there, in the consomme, give it another go. 2 bites. The consomme is good, but I don't feel like it adds too much to the sandwich, which is already slamming. I'm gonna enjoy this with executive producer Wifey here on our anniversary. And yup. We're going to try the brownie next, y'all.
I thought it was a huge sandwich, and it turned out it was just stacked up. Anyway. Well.
Ooh, that sandwich was good. Next up, we have a dessert. This is the minecart brownie. It is supposed to look like the diamond minecart from Snow White that comes out in the Main Street Electrical Parade, which we'll be enjoying later, hopefully, if it's not too crowded. But let's take a bite. Oh, man. I didn't expect that. It was like candy sugar on top and like vanilla cream or like whipped cream in there. The brownie's really solid. You have chocolate chips for the wheels. We do 2 bites here. The candy sugar almost choking. Delicious, delicious. They should have both of these things year round, but I'm glad we got to try them here for the 50th anniversary of the Main Street Electrical Parade. Snacking good at Disneyland like we always do. Can't wait to try some more stuff.
Those were delicious. Like, as you can see, I was like talking real fast and stuff. There were like people hovering over our table trying to get it from us. And, that was weird, but it was definitely good food. It was a good little snack, very filling. Like, that was practically lunch and stuff. I thought it was going to be way smaller than it was, but no, that was like a complete meal, y'all. And they should definitely add that to the menu, both items. I forgot to mention, after 2 days in the wheelchair, my wife was getting tired of it. It was super hot and stuff like that. So she decided to walk for most of the day on day 3. No, shout to her. She was a trooper. She ended up walking like 7-8 miles on crutches. I don't know about you, but I could never do that. But, you know, props to her. I love you. But then after a while, like, her legs really started to hurt, so I went and got a wheelchair. And then we spent a lot of time just people watching, you know, which was fun. And, you know, usually we go to Disneyland, it's like, we need to ride this, we need to do this, we need to do this. But it was awesome to just kind of sit there and chill. You know, I got us some drinks and like a popcorn and stuff, and we just sat there and talked and hung out. Of all the things we did on our anniversary, that was definitely one of the highlights of the trip, is just getting to hang out with her and spend some time. Now it's time for our anniversary dinner. The Blue Bayou, unfortunately, was closed, as was Pirates of the Caribbean, which is unfortunate because it's my wife's favorite ride. It's a ride I love too, and it was closed for refurbishment. So we decided to check out the Cafe Orleans. Now, we had been there before a few years ago when I first tried a Monte Cristo sandwich, and that was cool. But unfortunately, the view was blocked off because they were working on Fantastic. Disneyland was going through a lot of construction in May 2022 when we shot this video. You there for Fantastic and stuff, they was all boarded up. Wasn't a lot to see in New Orleans Square at the time. The last time we went, we had ate outside. And this time we went and got to eat inside, which was cool because you see all these pictures of like Walt Disney here and all kinds of stuff that you wouldn't normally see. Like I said, this trip ended up being about getting different looks at Disneyland that were unique. I started off with the gumbo, which was fantastic. It was not too spicy, just the right amount of spice and pepper and heat. It was really good. I ended up getting a chicken dish, which was good. The chicken was very well prepared. You know, we shared some green beans. It was fantastic. Great sitting there talking with her, celebrating our anniversary. The people around us were real weird. Like, these two people got into a shouting match that everybody got quiet and listening to them. There was a kid crying and stuff, you know. The people aside, putting them away until later, we had a great time. We got to dessert and decided to get creme brulees. Now, the creme brulee there was like a vanilla bean. It was fantastic. Like I said earlier with the Lamplight Lounge and the poke dish, I probably could have had 5 or 6 of them by myself. But, you know, I didn't. It was great. Great being there with her on our anniversary. You know, there's nobody in the world I love going to Disneyland with more. And, you know, fantastic time. Then we started getting ready for the Main Street Electrical Parade. The Main Street Electrical Parade was back, y'all. Now, I've been watching this since I was a kid. It's always fantastic to hear that, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, the Main Street Electrical Parade. If you know, you know. I didn't do it justice, but you know. So I took my wife to the handicap section because we had the wheelchair at this point. And we sat down about an hour and a half before the parade. It was starting to fill up, especially in that section. I figured it would get crowded because everybody with their motorized scooters and, you know, chairs and stuff like that, it might take up a lot of space. So we ended up getting a good spot right in front, kind of by It's a Small World where the parade would first come out. And we sat there, you know, hung out. It was starting to get a little bit cooler and, you know, the breeze was coming in. So that was nice until it got really cold. But then about 5 minutes before the parade came, this family, not handicapped, came shoving in and got right in front of us. Like, we had been there for 90 minutes and they got there and like started like pushing and stuff just to get, they had 2 kids, husband and a wife, and they literally just blocked our view and were rude as hell. Like, the kids sat down, that's fine. You know, the dad sat down. All right, the mom decided to stand up, but then the kid, the son, started getting up and down and stuff and moving all around and like, you know, bumping into people. And here's where I lost it. I was getting annoyed because like, how rude of you to show up 5 minutes before the parade and just cut in front of everyone? What kind of entitlement do you think that you have that you can do that? But this kid who kept getting up and getting up, the last time he got up, he used my wife's broken ankle to get up. He grabbed her ankle and pushed up and got up, and she cried out in pain. Like, literally. Then the dad, not knowing that my wife was with me, started getting, like, trying to tough talk her. He's like, what's your problem? What's your problem? And then I literally got into his face. I was gonna, like... The kid was, like, 10 years old. He should have known better. Like, especially put your hands on a stranger. What the hell's wrong with you? But this guy thought he was some tough guy. Nah. I would have broke your jaw. I was going to knock him out and then get kicked out of Disneyland. This is all flashing in my head. And it ruined the parade for me. You know, the parade was still awesome. Let's take a look at it while I calm down. punk, man. Like, he tried to tough talk my wife, like, thinking, like, oh, she's in a wheelchair, you know, whatever. And then I got in his face, and he shut the up. Like, he got so, you know when you're in an argument with someone, and they're scared, they're like that, like deer in the headlights? That's what he was doing. And then he literally, when the parade, 5 seconds after the parade ended, he got up, left his family. He got up and left his family and walked away like the punk he is. And I swear, I'm not going to put his face on here. I thought about it. But, like, if you're watching this video and you recognize yourself, please know that I was hoping to send you to the hospital. After that, the parade ended. We kind of headed back to the hotel and stuff. It kind of left on a sour note because those people were so rude. And that's one thing I noticed about this trip. Now, like, people seemed more aggressive this trip to Disneyland. Like, I mean, this ain't Knott's Berry Farm, this ain't Magic Mountain, whatever, you know, is Disneyland. And people seem super aggressive, like physically confronting each other. Like I said earlier, I saw 2 people almost get into a fist fight in front of the Haunted Mansion. That's not the only time I saw someone threaten to punch somebody else. I myself lost it, unfortunately, and, you know, got super mad when this kid hurt my wife, and then the dad tried to be a tough guy. Anyway, so, like, I don't know if it was something in the air or just people were not used to being around other people anymore or something, but, like, it was a weird vibe there. I mean, it was a great trip, don't get me wrong. It was a fantastic anniversary trip. I'm with my most favorite person in the world, and we had a great time. We ate some great snacks. We rode some great rides. But the vibe there with the crowd, like, normally you see in the afternoons adults and kids having meltdowns and stuff like that. And that's a normal part of Disneyland, especially when you acting ridiculous and entitled. But, you know, that happened, like, way more than unusual, you know, and it was upsetting. Like, people just need to be better around people or have some common courtesy, especially, like, you know, if someone's in a wheelchair and you're acting like you're gonna hit them and your kid's rude and hurt them, like, what is your problem? Anyway, those people were the scum of the earth, and I hope they had a bad trip home. Like I said, great trip with my wife. Going to Disneyland is always a fantastic time, and I can't wait to go again. If you like what you see or are mildly entertained, please like and subscribe down here, hit that bell notification in the corner, and do your boy a solid. Help spread the word about the Tommy Love Stuff channel, YouTube's best kept secret. We got a lot of great stuff on this channel. You know, I do these vlogs where I go around places, check out different things. We talk wrestling, we talk comics, we talk food reviews, all things pop culture. If you like it, we're probably talking about it on this channel. Tell your friends about it. Help spread the word. I really appreciate it. I couldn't do it without you. And we'll be back with another video soon. Later.